All right, and we'll go ahead and start. If you have any questions, be sure to park them in the chat section and we'll get to them at the end. We also have two prizes that we're going to award today. So feel free to write down any interesting facts that you hear. So our basic agenda today, we'll talk about Baja, the region, the geography, some interesting facts, our itinerary for the AGC trip, the different activities we'll do on this adventure. So I'm one of your hosts. My name is Julie, and I've been with AGC since 2019. I work full-time in the office, and then I get out to guide a couple times a year. I have been to Baja on personal trips, but have not guided our AGC trip yet, which is why I have the lovely Emily with me here today.
Hi, I'm Emily. I have been guiding for AGC for about 3 years, and I've done the Baja trip twice. So I really enjoy it.
Wonderful. And Emily is not only a wilderness guide, but also a yoga instructor. And Emily, where are you based?
I'm based out of Michigan near Detroit.
Great. And what trip did you just get back from?
I just got back from guiding in Alaska.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me, Emily.
Thank you.
Okay, so Baja California is kind of a confusing term. It refers to this entire peninsula. And historically, the California that is now in the United States was part of this one big entity. And now Baja California is split up into a northern and southern part. They are two different states in Mexico. So where we'll be visiting on the AGC trip is Baja California Sur, which means southern Baja California. And the capital of the south is La Paz, and the capital of the north is Mexicali. And they're known for namely how beautiful the area is. And because of that, tourism, sport fishing, agricultural, and salt mining endeavors make the biggest contributions to the economy there. Some interesting things: salt is mined from the ocean and then sold as table salt or preservatives. The major crops include garbanzo beans, sorghum, tomatoes, alfalfa, wheat, corn, and green chilies. And then where we are for the first part of the trip, we fly in to Cabo, and then we'll drive up the southwestern side of the peninsula to Todos Santos. We'll see quite a bit of ranching and agriculture there too. So our next trip is in early January. If you want to beat those winter blues, I know a lot of us that go on AGC trips or part of the community live in parts where it gets really cold in the US. So this is such a wonderful break from the winter blah, that gray sky that Emily sees in Michigan that I used to see growing up in Ohio. And I like this trip for so many reasons, but one is it's such a nice price point. Because we're camping, because the exchange is favorable, it just makes for a really nice trip. And then all your meals and equipment are included, so you don't have to pack any camping supplies, which is really nice. And then Emily's going to talk about the day-by-day itinerary.
Yep. Thanks, Julie. So on the first day, we'll fly into the Los Cabos airport. And then from there, we will transport you directly to Todos Santos. So it's a little town on the western side of the peninsula. It's a very cute spot that I think we'll talk about a little bit more, but an artistic community. There's a lot of American expats. And we'll spend a few days at Casa Colibris, which is really excellent. And we'll spend one night there. And then we drive to La Paz, which is the capital. It's a really vibrant, bustling city. And from La Paz, we get on a boat and we go to the island Espiritu Santo. And then we will spend the next several days camping on the island. So it's kind of, I would say, between camping and glamping. It's nice tents, you get nice sheets and everything. And then there's a whole tent that makes us food. So it's a pretty fantastic camping experience, in my opinion. And then we go back to the mainland on the boat, and then we drive back to Casa Colibris or Colibris Casitas. And so that's our final night. So after camping for several nights, you get to have a hot shower again and, stay inside, have a fan, kind of enjoy all the luxuries of staying inside. And then the next day we take you back to the airport.
And if you're brand new to AGC, one thing that's really nice about our trips is that it is door-to-door transportation. So if you arrive on arrival day and depart on departure day, you are completely taken care of by AGC. And as far as transport times go, from the airport to Todos Santos is about 70 minutes. And then crossing the peninsula, Todos Santos to La Paz is an hour and change. And then the boat ride from La Paz, the city, to the island is about 70 minutes. So that's the other nice thing about this trip is you're never spending the entire day getting from one place to another. You're doing a lot of activities and the transport time is pretty minimum.
So there are several different options for activities when we get to the islands. I would say probably the most exciting one and the one we do the most is snorkeling. So there is fantastic snorkeling. If you like snorkeling, this is great. If you haven't snorkeled before, we'll definitely help you out with figuring out how to put everything on and how to get in the water and how to snorkel. So if you haven't done this before, we will help you with that. There's also kayaking. There is hiking on the island. So we take a little boat and go somewhere to hike. You can swim. We're usually on a little protected cove area or little bay on the island. And so you can go swimming there. Yoga in the morning. So usually I offer yoga, stand-up paddleboarding. And same thing, there will be stand-up paddleboarding lessons as well as kayak lessons. So if that's something that's like brand new to you and you want to try it, you're definitely welcome to try. And you can also just stay in a little protected bay if you don't want to, take a long kayak journey. If you just want to stay close to shore, that's an option as well. Bird watching, wildlife viewing, a lot of time to just sit and relax if you want as well. We have little tents right on the beach, and usually you get a little chair in front of your tent so you can just, sit and watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, watch the birds. It's beautiful at night with the stars. It's really just fantastic being kind of remote. And also, this is one of the few times on an AGC trip you will have an included happy hour. So every time or every evening before dinner when we're on the island, they will provide a happy hour with something like sangria or margaritas or something like that. So
And I wanted to mention that because we stay in the same spot while we're on the island, you're welcome to opt in and out of activities at your leisure. So this is truly your vacation, and you can do as much or as little activity as you see fit each day. So now we'll go through each activity to give you a little bit more detail. So we have a mix of double and single kayaks. You can see they're ocean kayaks, but they're open on top, so they're easy to get in and out of. And then their local guide will give a really nice basic kayaking instruction on the beach, and then each person will get into the kayaks. You'll do a shorter trip around the protected bay, and then there will be options for longer routes too. Emily, anything to add about the kayaking?
I think that's about it. But definitely you'll get kayak instructions, and then I think you covered it.
Terrific. So if you're brand new to kayaking, this is a perfect chance to wet your feet with some really nice ocean kayaking. Next is stand-up paddleboarding. So this is another choose your own adventure. If you've never been stand-up paddleboarding, great place to learn. You can sit, kneel, or stand. It's totally up to you. And Emily or whoever's the AGC guide will provide a lot of instruction. And then the area you can see here is fairly shallow, clear, and protected. So not a ton of waves to be battling against.
It's also warm water too. So if you're learning and you fall into the water, it's not going to be very cold.
Excellent. And here's some pictures of our group doing the stand-up paddling. The picture in the previous slide, those are from our local partner, those nice drone shots where you can see the green of the water. And You can see here one thing that we help prepare everyone for is a packing list full of sun shirt and sun protection options. You can see here one person is wearing their wetsuit. Emily and I were talking before this call how even though the water's warm, the wetsuit is nice because you can just stay out for longer in the water, whether that's snorkeling or paddleboarding, but it gives you just a longer leeway before getting chilly in the water.
Yeah, and just as a note, they provide the wetsuits as well. So we'll go and get all of the gear in La Paz before we go out to the island. So they provide wetsuits and snorkeling masks and flippers, and they'll fit everybody to make sure that they have the right fit.
And Emily said that last year, the AGC group, every single person was able to stand up. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've never tried paddleboarding and I don't have the best balance, don't you worry. There's still a great chance that you'll be able to stand up and have fun. Now we get to talk about snorkeling. Emily, what all did you see last year?
Yeah, so we saw quite a few different things. There was a whole array of tropical fish that we saw, which were just beautiful and fantastic. We do take a trip over on one part of the island to where the sea lions live. So we get to go pretty close to the sea lions, and the local guides will, tell us the rules and how far away to stay. But the sea lions do kind of come up and um, sort of play with us a little bit or get sort of close. The young ones are really curious and they're very friendly. Um, we watched a sea turtle eating one time for, I don't even know, it's probably 15 or 20 minutes, which was really fantastic. So there's, yeah, a whole array of fish and sea creatures.
And again, like we mentioned, the wetsuit is provided to us. They have various sizes, and it just extends your time that you're able to snorkel. You can see here people are snorkeling from the shore. Emily, did you also have opportunities to snorkel from the boat last year?
We did, yeah. So there were several times where we would take the boat somewhere. A few times we just jumped off the boat into the water to snorkel. And then other times we landed on a different little beach on the island and snorkeled from the beach. So lots of snorkeling opportunities.
And if you've never snorkeled with sea lions before, you're in for a treat. They are so playful and they really like interacting. Turtles do their own thing. They don't really care about human presence from what I've seen, but sea turtles really like to interact and play. I mean, sea lions. Did I say sea turtles at the end? So here's some more. These are from our local partner. We did want to mention that with whale sharks, they're common in the area, but we're not guaranteed to see them. So it'll be an extra bonus if we do get to see one, but you definitely will see sea lions and probably some rays as well. And Emily, you want to talk about boating?
Yeah, boating. So once we will take the boat to the island, and then once we're on the island, we'll probably get back on the boat a few different times. So we'll take the boat over to see the sea lions. We'll take the boat out to a little deeper water to snorkel. We also took a little tour where we saw some of the birds. There's a colony of magnificent frigate birds, which are really spectacular. So we went over very slowly by their nesting area. We didn't get too close, but so we could see that. And then one evening we had a little like cruise out onto the water, like a cocktail cruise. So, and just one thing to note about this trip, it's when we're on the island, it's not like scheduled or planned days. So the local guides will look at the water, they'll look at the wind, they'll look at the weather, they'll look at the tides, and they'll say, okay, today's a really good day for the sea lions. We should go see the sea lions in the morning. This is the best time. Or they'll say, okay, tomorrow we could do a hike in the afternoon. So it won't be a planned schedule ahead of time, but there are a lot of different activities that are available for us. So,
and Emily has been on this trip twice so far, and each year was way different. So if you're joining us today and you've already been on the Baja trip, come on back. We'd love to have you again. You're bound to see something new and have a totally different schedule each day. Yoga. This is one more place where Emily shines. You want to talk about how yoga was on the trip?
yeah, so I offer yoga classes usually in the morning, but it could be at another time of day too if people want, because it's a very flexible schedule. But usually I'd wake up in the morning and then we'd bring our little yoga mats, which were just towels or sarongs, and stretch, kind of looking out at the water. And yeah, it was really lovely. So usually like, 30-minute yoga class, not anything too long, but yeah.
And Emily also did some paddleboard yoga on this past trip if you're feeling extra adventurous and you feel like you've mastered regular paddleboarding and need an extra challenge.
It's pretty fun.
And now we're going to talk about wildlife. So here's a list of what we might see. And Emily will tell us the story about this incredible fish that the guides have, the local guides. This is a super, super rare fish. Emily, take it away.
Yeah, so we were on this trip. I was on this trip last year, and we had taken our boat to another little beach, and we are about to leave, and then this big thing like came up onto the shore, and our guide, he's the guy on the right, that's Octavio, or we called him Tavi, but he got super excited, and some of the other local people that were there from the other trips, they got really excited. So this fish is called an oarfish. You can see it's really big, and they said that they rarely see these. Tavi said he'd never seen one before, and he's been there, he's lived in Baja his whole life. So they, saw this fish. It came up onto the shore. They tried to put it back into the water, but it kept coming up. So I guess it usually lives in the really deep water, and then it comes up on the shore when it's about to die. So I think this was like the end of this fish's life, the oarfish. And then there's a legend around this fish. It's actually supposed to kind of be ominous, a little bit ominous. And they say when you see an oarfish, it means like a tsunami or some other catastrophic event is coming. Luckily, we didn't have anything like that, so that's good. But it was really cool to see the fish.
Incredible. How much do you think it weighed?
Gosh, that's hard. I didn't actually pick it up, so I don't know, but 30, 40 pounds. I'm not sure. That's my guess.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah. And the colors were just spectacular. It was really shimmery. And then it had these like, I don't know, these long things that hang, I don't know if they're fins, but came off of its head that were incredible. And then its top fin was like wavy and kind of an orangey red color.
it looks absolutely mystical, stranger than fiction.
Mm-hmm.
So more wildlife continued. Here's an adorable picture of a sea turtle. And then Emily had mentioned the magnificent frigate birds. If you haven't seen them before, the males have a red air pouch or sac on the front, and they puff it out when they're trying to impress a female. And it takes, only seconds to blow up, but then it takes probably 20 minutes or more to deflate. And it is also just so cool to see their displays. Now we're going to talk about accommodations. So as we mentioned, the first night, and if you choose to arrive early, you can also stay here for an extra night at Las Casas Colibris. And colibris, by the way, means hummingbird. And you can see here, it's just a really, really beautiful spot. Lots of paintings, flowers, pools, cobblestone patios, great ocean views. I will say the ocean right next to the hotel is considered unsafe to swim. So you can go down and walk the beach. There's some steps down. And you can possibly see whales from the hotel. But as far as swimming goes, if you, for example, arrived early and wanted to enjoy the beach, then you would just take a taxi to a different beach not too far away. And as far as amenities go, as you can see, they have a pool and a hot tub. And then they also have laundry, they have Wi-Fi, they have massages. They can bring massage therapists to your room or your deck, which is just incredible. And they also even have the option if you wanted to do what's called a Temazcal Aztec Sweat Lodge. So lots of different experiences here. And the woman, her name is Brian, she's from the US, that owns the hotel is also the owner of the outfit that does the camping portion as well. So we use just one partner the whole time, and we just love getting to support another woman-owned business. And Emily, anything else you want to mention about Las Casas or Casita?
Yeah, it's a really beautiful spot. So each room is unique and a little bit different. I just feel like they're decorated very well. It's some of them have little balconies, and you can go out and see the ocean or just have a view of, the plants nearby. They've really planted a lot of different flowers and fruits. And so as you're walking around, there's these little, you can see in maybe that top left corner, the little curvy stone paths, and you're surrounded by all of this vegetation that has been planted there by the owner. So it's really just really a beautiful and very calming experience. There's an on-site like restaurant, so there's usually a chef, and then you tell him when you want to eat, or I think he usually serves several meals a day, but you just let him know beforehand, or when we're all there together, we'll get a meal together. But yeah, just fantastic food, and the chef has always been, the chef's been very friendly and kind, and yeah.
Excellent. And then here's a picture of the nearby town, Todos Santos. Here you can see on the left side, one of our trips overlapped with Dia de los Muertos. And so got to see a lot of those cool decorations. If you're an Eagles fan, Hotel California is here, allegedly the same hotel that you can check in anytime you want, but you can never leave. So good luck going home. But it's just a really cool artsy town. It's very pedestrian friendly. The people are wonderful there. And there's lots of art to buy or peruse, look at. So really enjoyable town. Again, if you're arriving early or leaving late. Anything to add about Todos Santos?
Yeah, definitely enjoyable. We will most likely eat a couple of meals in town. And depending on the trip, sometimes we've had a little bit of time to walk around and explore a little bit too. So, but it's small, it's very artsy. There's a lot of American expats that live there. We had somebody that came a couple days early and got a little bit lost, and she was able to navigate her way around, and somebody who was an American expat helped her out because she didn't have any Spanish. So, but it's just a really beautiful spot.
And if we haven't mentioned it before, Emily is fluent in Spanish and has a degree in Spanish as well. So you are in great hands with her as your AGC guide in any Spanish-speaking country. Now we'll talk about the accommodations on the island. So because it's a national park reserve and in Mexico, there are no permanent structures, and each outfit that operates there has to maintain a permit and abide by leave no trace rules. So here's some cool drone shots of the camp. You can see it's just a lovely isolated stretch of beach, and where the camp is located each year may rotate depending on availability and permits. And then here are the tents. Emily, do you want to speak to what the beds feel like?
Yeah, so my bed was quite comfortable, I have to say. So you can see there's mattresses, there's pillows, they give you little towels. There's a little mat in front of the tent to help with sand, although there's going to be a lot of sand. But and then also you get a little chair too. So definitely comfortable. It's definitely higher quality than just bringing your own blow up mattress and sleeping bag. So quite comfortable.
And it does cool off at night, and you get that ocean breeze, so very comfortable sleeping. We often get the question, can I have my own tent? Is there a single supplement available on the trip? And only if the trip doesn't fill. So we wouldn't know about a single supplement until a little bit closer to the trip, like 3 months out. And then there might be the possibility of having a single tent to yourself.
I think there is a single supplement for Casa Colibris.
Yes, if you wanted
Just
your
not on
own
the tent.
room, exactly. Thanks, Emily. If you want your own room at the hotel, we can definitely arrange that for you. Here are some more pictures, that beautiful sky at night, some sunset shots. And then Emily had mentioned the nightly happy hour. Can you tell us what to expect during the happy hour? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you can see in the picture, that's kind of the little living room area. So there's couches and there's a little cover for shade, which is really nice. And then just kind of to the left in front of it is the table where we eat our food. So yeah, the nightly happy hour, they'll bring out, usually there's like snacks and then a pitcher of drinks. So like I said, sangria, margarita, mojito. And then last year they also did a non-alcoholic one as well. So they were pretty good with accommodating different dietary needs as well as drinking needs. Or if you choose not to drink alcohol too, they were accommodating for that. So we sit, have some drinks. That's our view. It's not bad.
Can't beat that view. And bathrooms. This is one of the biggest questions we get. So as you can see, they're totally walled off for privacy. There are 2 bathrooms and then 1 shower. And here's our lovely local guide demonstrating how to use the composting toilet. And because they're open top, there's no roof, so they ventilate really well, not smelly, stinky, easy to use. And then again, because everyone's operating on leave no trace permits, these are deconstructed and then the waste is safely disposed of on the mainland. Emily, anything to add about showers or bathrooms?
Yeah, so it's composting toilets, but you can see it was pretty clean and it really didn't smell, and they were good about cleaning it. There's also a little hand washing sink. We don't have a picture of that, but it has like a little foot pump so you can wash your hands. And, we always encourage people to frequently wash hands when we're there. Yeah, and the shower is the solar shower. So there's the water bag and then there's little walls around it. The shower is kind of off to the left on that left picture. There's a little black thing and you can see the bag. So the black part are the walls. So you go inside of there and, you can rinse off after being in the salt water.
And it's hard to see from this photo, but the bathrooms are off to the side. So they're not close to where everyone hangs out. Next, we get to talk about food. So as you can imagine, being so close to the ocean, really fresh seafood, if you eat seafood. If not, there's a wide variety. Emily, for example, is a vegetarian, and she said the food was great and still delicious. But as you can see here, the top right picture is a breakfast spread. And then over on the left, that's more lunch and dinner. If you're a fan of ceviche, get ready for the best ceviche of your life. And then this last picture is from the farewell dinner in town in Todos Santos, where you can order off the menu. And we collect the dietary needs ahead of time. So whatever is your diet, the chef on site will know and be able to accommodate. This is a picture taken at the hotel at Los Colibris, and just a beautiful environment to eat in as well. Here's some more fun photos. This is the group on a hike. Here's everyone relaxing in the afternoon. Bring your favorite book. Bring your sense of relaxation because we're on island time. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us. And if you're not yet signed up for Baja, we hope that you'll join us soon. And feel free to reach out if you think of any questions afterwards. Emily, thanks so much for joining us today. Hope everyone has a great week.